Well, the saga with this engine and the parts that came with it continues. We have another little anomaly. These were the two pushrod tubes which came with the engine. That one is obviously wrong. It's far too short. And I think that is a T140 pushrod tube, so that one's out. This is the other one that came with it, which looks about right. However, it wasn't until I fitted it over the pushrod, got the name of it, block, push to adapter block there. You can see it's a little bit loose, and also if I put the head on there, you'll see it is way too long, way too tall. Wrong way around, wrong way around. Try to do this while holding the camera. Sorry, you're probably looking at the sky and all sorts of things. Let me get that on there. Set that down there. I think, yep, don't look too far out. That is actually, I've got no gasket in there at the minute, but I've also got no seals, top and bottom. And when I put the seals in there, that gap was huge. Yeah, so that was obviously wrong, unfortunately. Because I thought that one was correct, I'd also ordered another one. There is the part number. Again, this is a Wassell part. Well, you can see that 70-6000, and this is a 1967 parts book, number 6 E, which is 70-6000. So yeah, I assumed incorrectly that they were the right ones, but they're not. So I then had a little look around on eBay and found some used ones which do appear to be correct. They fit snugly over the blocks, and they're obviously not as very snug. In fact, you line them up with those, they are a little bit shorter. So I think these are actually the correct ones. Those are all wrong, even though it's got the right part number on. So it just goes to show you can't even believe when it's a packaged part. Right, so what I'm going to do is get these on. I've got some, I did actually buy some red O-rings for the inside of here, though they are not required. All I need is these ones here, which are part numbers E3547 and E4752, which 7 and 8, rubber washer 4752, bottom cup 4746, although it's not listed on there. I've got the cups in there. What was the other one? 49 3547. So hopefully I've got the right ones. Now there's two different sorts in here. You can see that through the plastic. There's sort of a almost clear one and a white one. I think the clear one goes at the bottom in these cups. So what I need to do is get this all together I need to go, I've got a head gasket indoors, I'll have to go and get that. Put that on there, put it all together, with the head just resting on the top, and I need to measure the gap between the top of the gasket and the cylinder head, to make sure we've got the right pull down, if you like, the right gap for pulling it down to seal these properly. Hopefully that'll be the right size, because I couldn't find any. I know you can get these in different thicknesses, but I couldn't find any, except in, for some unknown reason, only in the USA. They don't seem to be available in the UK, so I'm hoping everything is going to come out right. If not, yeah, we're back to the drawing board. So I'll get everything together. I'll get the camera on the tripod, and yeah, we'll have a little see if we can get something to work here. I've already put the one on the back. Did find that was quite a tight fit, getting this over once that is on, or getting it to sit inside that cup rather. So I think what we'll do on this one, let's get a bit of a spray with some silicone lubricant, and hopefully that will ease in there a little bit better. It was quite a tight fit. Not messing around just to try and get it in the cup. I'll try and get the back in first, I think. That won't stay in there, will it? Right, I think that might still be a little bit up there. See, it'll pull down when you tighten it up, but I'm not going to be tightening it up. I'm just going to be sitting it on the top to check the gap, so it needs to be properly seated in there. Which I think that is there now. Right, tube. There. And the white one on the top. At least that's the way I can figure out how it's meant to go, what seems to be the right way for it to go. Looking at the part numbers, sit flat. Okay, new gasket, which is actually pre-annealed. Head. Now, I'll try and sit this in here. Without dislodging anything. to me, as these seals haven't sit properly, still seems a little bit high. Is that in? Just that one's in properly. They don't look like they're going in the head. These little seals. We need to tighten it down first and then measure it. They don't seem to want to fit very well. To me, that gap at the moment looks too big. Let's have a little measure. In that gap, it's supposed to be between 0.03 and 0.04. That looks a little bit more than that to me. Try and get it level. Certainly higher that side than it is this side. Yeah, that's way out. Way out. I might just put the head bolts in, tighten them down a little bit, and see if those seals will seat. I don't think they're seated properly at the moment. I think that's the problem. Obviously the base, the ones at the bottom are fine. It's the ones on the top which don't look correct. The bolts in the wrong place. Right, I'll mess around with this for a little bit and then we'll come back to that. I can drop you down a bit. You might be able to see the gap there. If that shows up, that is. See how much gap is there. And it doesn't look like these top seals are actually going in the recess. That's what it looks like to me. So we'll have a little bit of a play about and I'll bring you back. Okay, so I had just tightened the head bolts, nipped them really. I've not actually tightened them or torqued them at all, and that seal does now seem to be sitting better in that head. There's no, well, I can't really squish out the bottom because it's got that metal cup on there, so that seems to be sitting okay in there. Same with that side. top does seem to be squished out a little bit, but I think that's just because the OD of them seals seems to be a little bit too much for the space in the head. See what I mean? But yeah, the gap is completely closed up there, so it's, you see the copper gasket there probably. Yeah, so what we'll do, I'll now loosen those bolts back off, and we'll see how that's sitting then, see if it has actually just pulled it into where it should be, and then if it's looking okay, I will tighten them down, but not torque them, because obviously I can't torque them till the rocker boxes are on properly. And that one you can see there's nothing in there, yeah, so they've got to be built properly, and there's no gaskets under there anyway. But yeah, can't do that, can't torque it down until the engine is in the frame. There's 69 frame, I think it is. Pity it went to 1970. It's been much easier. Yeah. So yeah, I won't be able to get that in the frame with the rocker boxes on. Right, so I will now just release that back, and we'll have another look at it. Right, so I just loosened everything back off and measured that gap, and that was roughly 0.035, so we're right in the middle there. Yeah, I did just whip the head back off again and actually put some silicone spray around the top seals, and they seem to have slipped in a lot better now. The only time will only tell once we actually get the thing up and running as to whether they are sealed okay. But yeah, what I wanted to do was get the head. I've put the bolts back in, but you know, nothing's tight. It's just, well, tight. It's just nipped. It's not even pulled down. But I just want to get it in the frame really. Then I'll get on and do the rocker boxes. I can do the gearbox, primary. That can all be done in the frame, I think. So yeah, I think we might just end the video there. As I actually get it in the frame, and then we might just have a little bit on the end, seeing it in the frame. But yeah, I think that's as far as I'm going to go with that for today. Yeah, it's just really want to get that on, close all that piece off, although obviously the tubes are still open. Can't do much about that. Yeah, and then I'll have a look at the rockers and see exactly what I need for them, because yeah, that one is all there. That one is half there. In the lights you can see, but yeah, I'm going to strip them both and clean them anyway. So I don't think these have been apart, I would guess. So I might have a little bit of a clean up, see what's missing, if anything, and what I need to get to complete those. Yeah, so whether that'll be that or possibly gearbox next, although I do need to get the oil feed and return pipes on before I do the gearbox, I think, because I think once that's on you can't really get to that very easily. Yeah, so yeah, I think that will probably do for today. yeah, doesn't inspire you with confidence on these parts that don't seem to be correct. But yeah, we'll have to go with it. I think this side actually fits quite as well as the other side. That one seemed to have slipped in much better. But yeah, only time will tell.